many other people are doing the sort of longer interview thing. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, well, at least you left it completely in the dark what it will be about. There might be a few interesting answers.
I know. Yeah, it's strange that. I don't really... Maybe it's because I don't plan enough. Maybe I don't know, so I can't tell anyone. But you've been in Bristol for... You came in yesterday.
Many a time, yeah.
And Tobacco Factory, didn't you sell out in the evening?
Yeah, and in the afternoon, so I've done 2 shows.
Okay. Did you sell out in the afternoon? That's amazing.
Very fortunate.
That's really great.
And so then by the end, because I don't work with a support act, so I do 2 hours myself.
Oh my god! Right.
And that then works out as 4 hours on stage, plus the time all around it. Like I've got I hand out postcards to people so that they postcards and pens so they can win a trip to Berlin.
Oh right, that's your sponsorship thing, is it?
It's a sponsorship thing with the German National Tourist Office. But equally, they write down their email addresses on their postcards, and I send out a monthly bulletin. And I've done that for years and years and years. So and I add everyone into that mailing list. So quite keen on handing out the flyers and getting them back. So and
publicity and
you have to, because you never know. I mean, you might be getting a press write-up at the moment, but who knows what it's like in the future. So if you have got something, the more people you have got on your mailing lists, the less you rely on some mainstream media publicising what you do.
Yeah, no, it's a really good way of doing it, I think. And I think particularly Stuart Lee, when he first started, he was using MySpace all the time, I think, just to try and get a profile up. But I mean, you don't really use the social networking sites so much, do you?
I'm 38 years old.
It's not for you then.
No, it's not really. It's
you do some entertaining tweets, couldn't you? Or
and I always think I'm not that. It's not the most sophisticated thing to say, but then I think, well, I'm not interested in other people. I'm not interested in what other people are having for lunch. What makes me assume they want to know what I'm having for lunch? So, so that's why.
I think it's a good point. Yeah. Although some people are just they're really good at it. They're good at
some people are good, but then I mean, I'm wasting enough hours in the day as it is. Because it is obviously a very time-consuming process to do it right. And if you end up with a Twitter account where it doesn't say, oh, and I got another great review, and then the next one, why don't you come and see my show there and there? Tickets are on sale there and there. Oh, someone said I'm great. They're just horrific to read. Even if I had some respect for that person in the first place, the moment I read that, I say, oh, what a knobhead. So, and I don't want to know about them.
No, absolutely. No, I can
So I think it's something like Twitter or Facebook or something. I think that's a very good way if you want to alienate people that previously were quite keen on you.
I think it can be the case, yeah. But I think it's a good way for new guys maybe to get there, to get themselves known, build up a bit of relation.
Everyone approaches it differently. Yeah. Everyone who uses it, good luck to them. So it's just.
So do you immediately lose any respect for people that use Twitter? Or
no, that's obviously far too harsh. That would also not be a clever thing to admit in public. So it's not an opportune thing to say these days. But when people are retweeting good reviews, positive reviews, they think, how little confidence in what you do have you got, or how big is your ego?
No, I know.
So I mean, how deranged are you? then you need constant input from third parties, telling you that you're decent at your job, and then feel the need to tell everybody else about that third person, saying you're not all shit.
I mean, some people do that, but then some people you could do an alternative one where you only do the bad reviews, you know.
Yeah, but then people say, "Oh, who is he, Stuart Lee?"
Oh, yeah.
So
he's got that.
He's cornered that market.
But anyway, are the Bristol people kind of a good audience? Did you enjoy performing to them?
Yeah, very good. Tobacco Factory is a lovely, lovely venue, but But generally speaking, it depends more on the sort of venue.
Yeah.
Then I think a venue makes its people.
Yeah.
So if it's, say, a theatre, everyone's facing the stage, and there is no disco promise after, then people are there to see comedy.
Exactly.
And it should be a decent gig.
They're there to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tobacco Factory's lovely because they're all around you almost, aren't they? Because it's down the side a bit as well.
Yes.
No, I like the venue, but I didn't realise you did a 2-hour show. That must be training. Or?
Yeah, it's training. But it also is a good challenge.
Is it the longest show you've done, really?
Yeah, well, certainly it's the first time that I've done 2 shows in one day.
Yeah.
2 full-length shows in one day. That was yesterday. A bit of a challenge. I realised during the first half, I realised my voice is a little bit going, and then I thought, oh dear, let's hope that lasts for the second show. But it's one of them. I think if you do it a few times, then you just get used to it. I think if you work on a variety circuit where they tend to have, particularly on the weekends, more than one performance anyway, then you just like with everything, you will get used to it.
Yes, yeah. No, I think, but no, it's great that you're doing kind of just a long time on stage as well. That you've got enough confidence in your humour that you can do that. Or
not enough is always one of the two, isn't it? So because I've done 20 minutes. That's the best you'll ever see. Good night. So you could, that would be full of confidence as well.
Well, was it difficult because when you started, it was kind of German comedian, and you did sort of the standard kind of lines, and was it difficult to develop that into a 2-hour show to kind of make that transition to being just maybe a novelty or to actually an actual act?
Yeah, well, I think the challenge of building material, that's a challenge that everyone's got, because whoever it is, forget about nationality or background, when they start out, everyone only got a minute.
Yeah.
And that minute isn't very good. So, and that's how everyone started. And then you have to build up and you just get better. And back in the day, apprenticeships, they lasted 7 years.
Yeah.
So I'm now doing comedy for about 8 years. So it is still like of sorts like first day in the office, and you constantly learn. But you get better at it, and so the difference between, say, a 20-minute set and a 2-hour show is, in a 20-minute set, you can have the idea would be to be very punchline heavy, wouldn't it? Joke. But if you were to attempt that over 2 hours, it would just knackered.
Just exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, some people manage, like the one-liner guys, but they kind of put texture in somehow. Or...
Yes, yeah.
But it's an opportunity for you to kind of tell longer stories, I guess.
Indeed, yes.
Yes, yeah. Add a bit of texture that way.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are you back at Edinburgh this year doing another show?
Yeah, the problem with Edinburgh this year is coincides with the Olympics, doesn't it?
Well, it does, yeah.
For the first bit. So I come up to Edinburgh after the Olympic Games because...
Oh, you're going down to see them?
Well, I live in London, so I'll stay in London for the Olympic Games. Because I'm thinking, well, that will be the only time in my lifetime that I live in a city that's hosting the Olympic Games.
Exactly.
It would be utter madness to leave for those 2 weeks, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, so you got tickets?
I haven't got tickets for anything yet, but quite hopeful.
Yeah.
I mean, because there is always, you had to apply for them so long ago. Some of the people, they got the tickets, they're bound to be dead by now. So, and there will always be some tickets on the...
Yeah.
You will always get a ticket outside, because and then if it's like first round in angling or something, I mean, how much can they really charge for that, even on the black market? So I'm not too worried.
No, that would be fine. And also, I think kind of the London atmosphere is going to be really nice,
I think I've heard of a friend of mine who is from Melbourne, and when the Olympic Games were in Sydney, he spent 2 weeks in Sydney, and the atmosphere must have been tremendous. Like, you went to a local pub, and there was someone that came third in God knows what, in bowling. Came third in bowling, standing there having a few pints and having their medal around their neck. So you could have a photo with them, get them a beer, and also that must have been...
feeling a community.
Yeah, it must have been madness, because you also mingled with the sports people who mingled with the normal people down the pub.
Yeah.
So, and I'm very hopeful that London will manage to convey a similar atmosphere.
I was chatting to someone who lives in London, and because a lot of people are going, oh, what about parking and things like that? But I think it's great that that we forget about that for a bit, and that certain works can't be done, certain building works. But actually, it's really good that for 2 weeks or however long it is, we can't do those things. Things stop, because it's an important thing. It's something quite exciting.
It's a showcase to the world, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
That's also so important why Britain's got to get it right, like everything, like public transport and all sorts, because if you think back to 2004 when the games were in Athens, and the whole build-up was essentially dominated by, they're not getting it ready on time, and they're not this and they're not that. The games hadn't even started yet, and that was already the worst advertising for the country possible. So obviously everybody liked to diss the Greeks for it, because there was already that idea, lazy Southern Europeans, blah, blah, blah. So, and just everyone just really enjoyed living out their stereotypes against the Greeks, but equally they made it quite easy to have themselves criticised, and therefore it's so important that London gets it right.
What do you think about all the money, though, that, we've ploughed a lot of money into it? You're not too worried about that, or...?
Well, it is a bit of an absurd scenario, isn't it? Because when Britain bid for the games, it was meant to be 2.4 billion.
Yeah.
And now they're up to 9.3, and I think...
Some people...
It's the same. It's the same with public projects. But that now moves away almost into standard material when you talk about personal accountability with public projects running over budget, and that's the problem, isn't it? There is people, they don't have to use their own money, the people, because if you're in charge of a big public project and it goes tits up, what's the worst that can happen to you personally? Knighthood, innit?
Exactly.
Knighthood promotion, and that's it. So there is no such thing as personal accountability,
especially in that
field of public sector work.
So you're using the Olympics as material then? Or?
I had them. I talked quite a lot about them in 2010.
Oh right, okay. A bit before.
Yeah, and that was essentially along the lines of, in the context of personal accountability.
Yeah.
That things just run over budget and no one has to pay the price for it. I was demanding that London 2012 goes tits up, Lord Cole should have hung. And then now I thought, well, it's not really appropriate at the moment, because I think the last thing they need right now is people going on stage already going, that'll be shit. Because deep down I don't think it will be shit.
But you could do some positive stuff about it.
Now, come on now.
You could find a funny I'm sure you're gifted.
I might be gifted, but I'm not a miracle worker.
So, the reason you started stand-up, is it because you saw how badly everyone else did it? Did I hear that?
Well, yeah, that obviously ties in with the German stereotype of being incredibly ungracious. No, how it started, I came over about 10 years ago to work in the UK. I was working for Wycombe Wanderers Football Club in marketing. And initially I only wanted to stay a few months.
Okay.
To get my English up to scratch.
And it was London, was it? Or
that was High Wycombe.
Okay, yeah.
So, but then I wanted to stay in the UK because really enjoyed myself. And then about a year and a half after I came to the UK, I walked past the pub when they decided tonight stand-up comedy. So, and that was like an open mic comedy gig. So I really enjoyed what I saw. And then treated the headliner on the night, Gary Delaney, treated him to a beer.
Oh, yeah?
And then Gary wrote me down a few phone numbers of open mic comedy gigs.
wow.
And then I picked up the phone the next morning. That's how I got started. And you know what it's like. So then it's a hobby. Then it becomes a paid hobby. Then well-paid hobby. Then shitty paid job. And then you have to build up again. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you? Because you did marketing first. Did you have a problem with doing marketing? Did you like it?
It's nothing different to what I'm doing now, isn't it?
But if you're in marketing, you might be selling a product that people don't need, and you're sort of telling them that you want it. Whereas your comedy fans, they are a fan of you, assumedly. So
you become that. Obviously, is the difficulty, isn't it? That is the market difference between. Marketing a product, and you can stay very anonymous in the background, and marketing it yourself as a performer, where you are also always the face.
Yeah,
that obviously is the difficulty. Then you have to make certain decisions. Like then you have to say, okay, how widely available do I want the product to be?
Yeah.
What sort of market penetration am I after? And then if someone says, oh, do you want to do on a chat show hosted by Paddy McGuinness, and you say, yeah, if I was selling soap, I would have the soap on the Paddy McGuinness show, but as it's me that I'm selling, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to be recognised by people that watch Paddy McGuinness.
You don't.
So that's essentially because you are marketing, you do market yourself.
Mm-hmm. But what were you marketing before, when you came to London initially?
I was working for Wycombe Wanderers.
Wycombe Wanderers.
Football club.
So it was a product that you believed in. It wasn't as if it was some unethical.
No, they're doing tremendously well. Got relegated again this season, just 2 days ago, and a tremendously good season. That is. I think that is important that you, to a certain degree, that you do obviously believe in what you do. And so, probably, if I've got one rule or one approach in regards to what I want to be on, and I've got the idea I don't want to be in or on anything that I wouldn't watch, listen to, or read myself. So, and I've always kept that's more or less as the guiding principle.
Okay, but that's quite a good sort of dignified thing to do. So also when people sell things, I mean, would you have a problem doing an advert, do you think, if you were asked?
Well, it depends on what sort of product it is. Right, for example, I've got a cooperation with the German National Tourist Office, and that's the sort of advertising I've got absolutely no problem with, because I know Germany is a great holiday destination, so there is... I don't have to pretend anything.
Do you go back to Germany a lot then?
And my parents still live there,
yeah.
And I'm back maybe 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay, so you like to keep a connection a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But London's a good. I suppose it's a great place for comedy, isn't it? Yeah.
It's home now because after 10 years, social contacts, they've essentially all moved to London. If you go home, you'll just be a tourist. You become a tourist that happens to speak the language. So and they're quite archaic version of that language at that. So so therefore, London is home.
Absolutely. You're doing loads of stuff there now with TV work and things as well. It's great to be convenient for that. Because you do fighting talk a lot, don't you? So
now that's not in Manchester though.
Oh, is it down in Manchester?
Yeah, because Five Live up in Manchester even. Yeah, because Five Live moved up to Manchester.
Oh God, I forgot. Yeah. Salford, the new Salford Media,
UK Media City, and then they always say how modest and down to earth the Northerners are, and at Media City UK. And that was what the tram stop is called. So I don't know how that plays into that stereotype.
That's the point. But you're doing loads because I'm seeing you on TV quite a lot now. Is it kind of people are latching on to your stuff?
Never know what it is. I mean, it's TV breeds TV. So if you're on one thing, then that gives you then credibility to be asked on something else. Until someone else comes along, then becomes the new thing. So I'm still in the process of an upward trajectory up to a certain degree, and then it's a case then of keeping it at that level, and or at least prolong the massive downturn, which because it does go in circles, in cycles.
Inevitably.
Yeah, inevitably. So because once people have heard, they simply have heard enough of you.
Yes, yeah.
So then they want to hear something else, and then they also go, oh, it's hilarious how he always talks about. Say in my case, they'll say, oh, it's hilarious, that German bloke. Oh, he tells all those funny things about how Germany is great and whatnot. Before long, people will be going, oh, that bloke, he always talks about Germany. So that is, I mean, the thing that will change is just the perception of what people do.
Yeah.
And then it comes to the level, it doesn't even matter if I talk about Germany or not, that will still be the main criticism that will be held against me. Oh, he talks always about Germany. It's like when, Jo Brand, oh, she always talks about her period. She never talks about her period. So, but
I don't think I've ever heard her speak about that. But it's the brush that you're that you're tarnished with. But yes. So do you steer away from doing German stuff now for that reason? You kind of.
Well, by that logic, I should do it exclusively because that's what the people hold against me anyway.
But yes, I mean, hopefully you'll have enough fans, true fans, to keep you going, and even if it does slide off, you've got your mailing list again of your die-hard fans
which can be joined on henningwehn.de.
It's a very good mailing list, actually. It's the funniest mailing list.
Oh, thank you very much.
It is, because most of the time they're just it's a list of things that they're doing, but yours is great. I always look forward to reading it when I see it in the inbox.
Oh, great.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you
so very much. Thank you.
That's quite all right. Get the hands shake.
Yes, proper. For the cameras, yeah.
Wave goodbye.
And goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.